Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
We're going streaking!
Dave's Video Graveyard.
That guy in a little coat.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm not a smart man.
Shut up!
One tubby.
What's wrong with him?
My first thought would be alive.
Why so serious?
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, Ma! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Of all the radio shows in the world, this is definitely one of them. Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOW FM.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
It is 100.5 WOW FM. Dave's Video Graveyard for your Monday night. An absolute pleasure to be with you. We are joined... Paulie, how you doing? Do you have an absentee note for last week?
I do. I apologise, and I was going to say punish me as you will, but I'm not going to say that because that's going to open me up to all sorts of stuff.
Threaten me with a good time.
That's it. We are joined right now by tiki-bar superstar / burlesque performer LeopardLass. How you doing?
Aloha. How are we, guys?
Good.
Aloha.
Thanks for having me.
No, anytime. You are award-winning, just like this show is. So why don't you take the reins and tell us all about how award-winning you are?
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, I think the most recent award would be taking out the title of Patron Perfectionist Australia 2018 for a drink I created for Patron. So, yeah, took it to regionals and then took it to the final and then kablamo.
Now, I know the name of the drink really well, but I think I'll let you say what it's called.
The Mudley Wonk?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not how it's spelled.
It's not. It looks like Mulgy Wank.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was called.
Yeah, and so lots of people call it that. I get a little thrill every time someone says wank in Hades. But yeah, it's...
The best thing was being able to buy one myself by just pointing at it.
Yes.
Oh, that looks really nice.
Yeah, or lots of people go, I'll just have that winning one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, you've picked a very varied list this evening, which we'll be going through. But before then, our absentee from last week has some homework.
Wow.
I'm over it. I'm totally over it. You didn't get to be here for the low light of the show.
The low light. Yeah, well.
So you finally got around to seeing Halloween.
I did.
Halloween from 2018.
Yes.
Tell us all about it.
It was a really decent horror movie. It's really well paced. If you think about it too much afterwards, there is holes in it, but I think the Blu-ray will make up for it because I think there's a lot of lost footage and deleted scenes, lots of stuff. Jamie Lee Curtis is amazing in it. She's just... It's actually a really good film about trauma. You never see what happens after horror movies. All these people get murdered, and there's one survivor. You don't find out what happens to the survivor, and this is what happens to the survivor 40 years, and she's actually been on a farm shooting at mannequins waiting for him to come out. And it's awesome. So yeah, there's a few little twists, lots of nods to the original series, and yeah.
At any point did it feel like Eastbound and Down because of Danny McBride?
No, but there is a couple of funny bits.
Tampa.
There's no let the boy watch.
That would have sold it to me in an instant.
There is it's basically it does take the bits of the other films, and it's a greatest hits reel, but it's just, I mean, my wife was just sort of, she said I was watching it with my mouth agape most of the time because it's just it's great to see him back and given the respect, the movie, the respect that it has, and it's not got rappers doing karate in it as well.
No trick or treat one-liners.
No, it's It's actually really bleak. Like, it's really fun, and like it's violent, and it's probably because I haven't seen like a really violent horror film for a while. Like, I was shocked at some of the stuff in that.
I have heard that they've stepped it up almost, not to say the taboo for you, but they've stepped it up violence-wise in a Rob Zombie kind of. Michael has super strength, and
but he already sort of had that, but like. And it's not
but
gratuitous.
He's a 60-something-year-old man.
But it's not gratuitous like Zombie and like the other ones is like Hostel or something like that. It's just really assuming like that's what happens when you bang someone's head against a toilet door.
Right.
Like, like that's what happens, and it's like
I'll take your word from it.
The sound design of that movie just.
How did Carpenter's themes?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I went home and I got like I added it to my Google Play and been listening to that because it's basically, you know what, I hate 9 Inch Nails, but I like what they did to that theme. So it makes me, I'm very conflicted now because I actually have Trent Reznor on my phone.
He wrote that great Johnny Cash song. All right. So the guest for the evening that totally gets to sit out that whole segment. Are you a fan of horror films?
No, that's a big no. I don't like being scared. I don't like them. But, I can't even pretend to get on board with them.
Do you like Trent Reznor?
No.
Oh, there we go. We're friends.
No, I'm just too scared.
This is like, it wasn't a thing, it was really unnerving. And it's one of the first horror movies I've seen in a cinema for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like, I was like, this old guy's like, there's lots of young people around. They're probably going to ruin it for me. And they didn't. It was awesome. Everyone was like, eyes on the film, and it was really, really decent. So
yeah.
I had a great night out. A great anniversary.
I became more of an old man this week.
Is it possible?
Even more of an old man when kid in front of me, the servo's Apple Pay watch wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just raging out so bad.
Use
did
cash.
You say, I was going to say, did you poke him in the back and be like, use cash, you fool?
I was almost that guy, but I just passive-aggressively, silently sighed. Didn't even make noise. Just like, with no noise, but no noise.
That's the most disappointing sound known to man, isn't it? Like
I had a dude.
A sightless sigh.
I had a dude come up with the watch, and like the thing with our FOS is that it has like a 5-second delay. So I was like, "All right, so you ready to go?" I was like, and he's like, "Yep." And he had his watch. He's like, and all right, I'll just try it again. And he just keeps like going, and he was so proud. And then like by the end, he's like, "Oh, just trying to tap it on."
They are very excited to use those Apple Watches.
Definitely.
And they're like this.
That's what it was.
It's like people with big cameras and big lenses. They're also like walk around with it like this.
You know what the end of the Breakfast Club the entire time.
It was the actor or actress that gets guns for a movie where their arms are super ripped, and so all of a sudden everything's over exaggerated. That's what it was like. Like pretty much, he like carried his hand straight up in the air like a dinosaur head and just walked up to the counter to pay, and then it didn't work, and it held me up when I needs my Skittles, and I turned into an old man. I was Clint Eastwood in not quite Gran Torino, but it was definitely somewhere after Unforgiven. I was just very surly and didn't have time for these youngins.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, pretty much.
Skittles?
Yeah, because I'm a manly man.
Okay, cool. All right.
Sweet. So,
I'm looking forward to this list, so why don't you play one of the songs from 1996?
1995 and 1996. Do your research. This is 100.5 WOWFM. 100.5 WOWFM. This is Dave's Video Graveyard, and thanks to the off-air conversations, for the final time we are joined by LeopardLass.
If I had $1 for every time I'd been axed after my first 20 minutes of doing something.
As many of our listener would know, whenever we have a guest on, they team up on me with Paul, and it's already begun in between the first couple of songs.
I like sass. What can I say?
Put your phone on silent, thanks, Paul, and get a different ringtone from me.
God.
Yeah.
So we're going to start this off with the movie that you haven't seen, but is on your list.
It's on my list.
Your favourite movie that you've never seen.
Yeah.
It's called The Shape of Water.
Yes.
A movie that I watched the first time this week and instantly sort of fell in love with. It's really delightful. You should watch it.
I will.
But
It's
why
on
did
my
you pick it?
I picked it because, number one, Guillermo del Toro is the most amazing monster maker of all time. And it's based on the creature.
Second.
The second monster maker you think from that
After
side.
Stan Winston.
Just keep going. Just ignore him.
No,
That's what I do.
don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
It's always haters, isn't there?
Yeah. There's always people living in the 80s.
Yeah.
Hashtag Stan Winston. I don't understand how hashtags work. But the kid with the Apple Pay watch told me about that.
And the creature from the Black Lagoon is my favourite creature.
Yeah.
And so he's also in that movie, or it's based on that guy. And
Well, they even say that they found him in Peru or South America, which is where the original, which we'll get into later.
yeah.
It's really fun. Like I was saying it off air, it sort of goes like a 50s movie. Like it's kind of innocent, but there is extreme violence at some points. There's like sex scenes. There's a lot of stuff going on. Richard Jenkins, which is the dad in Step Brothers, is so good in this movie. Like, and also Sally Hawkins, who plays a mute for the entire film, and my first love, Michael Shannon. He's so good in this movie.
Directed by Del Toro. That's not.
What's the first name of him?
How do you say that again?
How do you say it?
Dave? It just rolls off the
Mr.
tongue.
Del Toro. Or Senor Del Toro. 'Cause I believe he's Spanish.
Yeah, I look. It deserved the Oscar. I don't know. There's people. Some people do hate on this movie. I'm not sure why.
Because
they're lame.
This won't even be an insult to you because you're unapologetic. It's a chick flick with monsters in it.
Yeah.
And that's.
But then again, like, there's also extreme violence in this movie. Like, it's a really.
Well, yeah, it's a Del Toro.
Yeah. But then again, I suppose when we go. Well, because like in this section, I was also going to talk about Pan's Labyrinth as well. And those two movies pair together quite nicely.
Those are just
Even
such
reading
great monsters.
it's not helping. Look, that's not a word.
What, Guillermo?
Guillermo.
So Elmo.
You don't really don't pronounce the L's. Guillermo.
It's like Tempranillo. It's like those tricky Spanish L's.
WNBC.
Pan's Labyrinth, when I first watched it, it's that iconic bit with the monster with the eyes on his
Oh,
nose.
no. If anyone saw this for the first time, and when the captain finds the rabbit
and
hunters,
caves that guy's head in.
Oh my lord!
That boy did that set the time for me, because I when I was actually working at the video shop at the time, got it on a preview tape, so there was no info at all. It was back when someone else had taken the cover.
Yeah,
they so it was just literally a DVD with the name of it written on top.
Yeah.
So started watching. I'm like, it's a very Labyrinth type movie.
Yeah.
It's very fantastic, very visually pleasing. Then that happened.
Cave your eye socket in.
Then the fairy got eaten by the eye thing. Wow.
The hammer bit, like there's like going back to the Halloween, like the sound design, like that is a hammer hitting flesh.
That is a meat tenderizing sound.
Oh my lord! Yeah, I totally forgot about that bit. Yeah,
that bit's like. That's kind of where I check out with scary movies, like, and those sorts of
it's got that
violent themes.
It's got that real Grimm's fairy tale where you could tell it feels like a traditional. It's like almost like a Hans Christian Andersen folk, that thing. But then it's so stylistic. Both these films are visually amazing.
Yeah, I mean, with he likes those sort of earthy colours, like Shape of Water's basically green, aqua blue, that's the colours in the set and all that sort of stuff.
It's basically really his two Hellboys without weapons.
And I really liked his Hellboys too.
I liked Hellboys, actually.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
You could have put that on your list.
I didn't put it on the list.
There's a new one with Trapper. Not Trapper from Stranger Things, is that?
Yeah, Hooper.
Hooper, sorry, yeah. Oh, Trapper from...
Trapper from Cannibal the Musical.
Trapper from MASH. But yeah,
I'd still see every one of those films we just talked about.
Pan's Labyrinth, one of my favourite films. So thanks for
I love
choosing
everything that Guillermo.
Guillermo.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Your headphones aren't working properly, guys. You're not hearing me say it correctly.
I just went to check the headphones.
He's I really loved his... I'm totally forgetting the name. Pacific Rim.
That's the only
I thought
thing
that was going to
like.
be Oh, no, I can't say that.
I loved how Power Rangers-y it was.
And I hated how Power Rangers was.
See?
We're
different people.
some bad witch to start cackling. I'm like, wasn't into it. But
just don't think about the Golden Girls theme and get it stuck in your head, is all I can say to both of you guys.
If Mimic, it was one of his first ones in America.
No crap. I did not know that was one of his films.
Yeah, that was his first film in America, yeah. So, yeah.
That was in the golden age of Dimension films that we always talk about.
And if you want to see a spooky movie, he did one called The Devil's Backbone, and there's a ghost in that still haunts my dreams.
He has a mash of so many different directors, and a lot of his creatures and like the stuff he does is almost a Sam Raimi silliness and goriness to it, but at the same time he's got more of a sophisticated.
He doesn't do it on the nose. You
No.
know how some like he's not like a
He's not an Eli Roth as well.
Zack
which is-
Snyder,
Yeah.
sort of thing. He doesn't just like do it for the sake of doing it. He's like, there's method to
In
it.
saying that, Zack Snyder's Watchmen, tonally very similar to what you get from him.
Did you hear there's a Watchmen TV show?
Awesome.
Yes.
Bring it on.
Cool.
Talk some more. More one-word answers. Did you see this at home at the cinema?
Pan's Labyrinth. I think I accidentally saw it on at home on TV on SBS one night.
Yeah.
And then have since hired the movie and DVD and all that sort of stuff because I was just like, oh, I love this so much. And I missed his. He had a. Guillermo, that all of his monsters were in LA, doing some sort of exhibition, and I missed it by days, and I was like, ugh.
Paul, I need to give you more credit. Was it a deliberate thing? Because I'm just realizing that this movie was the movie that Zack Snyder wished he made when he made Sucker Punch. Is that what you were getting at just before? Because if you think about it, where it's got the multiple levels of storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fully what you get credit
So
for.
Sure.
Sorry to cut you off. I just had a thought,
okay.
and that
He does
doesn't
it all the
often
time.
happen. Oh, see? Ganging up on me.
There's a TV show called The Strain too. Have you seen that?
No.
I
It's
have
about
not.
vampires. It's really good.
Oh, that's the worldwide vampire type
Yeah,
Daybreakers situation.
It's one. I don't think it's even aired on. I don't know where you can get it in Australia, but I've seen a bunch of episodes. It's really dark and cool, and sort of punkish sort of thing going on. It's really cool. So if you get a chance to watch The Strain as well, he executive produced that as well.
Nice.
So, what banger from '96 have you got up for us next?
This is one that you've talked about many times in the last 3 months, so we might go with a bit of 311.
It's not Beetlejuice. You don't have to play it.
This is Dave's Video Graveyard. It is 100.5 WOWFM. Paul has just done some sick half-pipe tricks. Because it's 1995 tonight on Dave's Video Graveyard. That was 311 with Down.
I saw them live at the Warped Tour.
What?
Yeah.
Wowza.
So
Did you do a sick ollie?
Kickflip.
I was like the considered
The
guy.
extent of my skateboard knowledge.
Stop running around and trying to listen to the 311s.
I've got my dad joke ready for this evening. Are you ready? Back when you saw them live, the best part of your day was a sick ollie, and now when ollie's sick, it ruins your day. Yeah. His son's called Oliver, and I'm the best at jokes.
Well, it's debatable.
You like that, and I know that I saw it deep down. I should have said a sick ollie.
It's because I'm a dad.
Yeah,
it's just
dad jokes. Have you got any great dad jokes? Any mum jokes?
I don't have any great mum or dad jokes, but my kids have been coming up with the "your mum's so fat" and "your mum's so ugly" jokes, and coming home and slinging zingers on me. And my youngest son, who is 8, turned around to me the other day and was like, "Mum, you're so ugly that you walked past the mirror and your reflection said, 'Nah, that's it, I quit.'" And he just kept walking, and I was like, "Oh, I don't even know where to go from there." Thank you, Cornelius. Get out of the car.
My wife has mined a bit of parenting gold that I'm so jealous that I can't. She's a high school teacher.
Yes.
So she is deliberately misusing youth words to all her students. Mm-hmm. So she'll say, whenever kids are working, doing what they're supposed to, she'll stand behind them and go, "Guys, squad goals." And It is just the cringe level of destroying her students is I'm so jealous of, and she loves to throw in like any popular memes, like reference to them in like deliberately get them wrong to the students, and I just wish I was in that position.
Yeah, I do that with my children all the time. Pearl's 8, and she's never impressed with any time that I say anything cool. But
whenever my son is trying to, you know the way you condescend your parents because you're super hip, she'll just say, "That is so lit, fam," and it is so upsetting to my children and to her students. So pretty jealous. Speaking of kids, this is a very adult movie, and is this not directed by Guillermo? Did I say it? What am I saying? Guillermo?
You're saying like Guillermo, like G-worm. And that's definitely not how it's said.
Can you write it phonetically for me?
Just say Guillermo.
Guillermo.
No, Guillermo. No. Now you're ruining it for me.
You're not saying it properly.
God, it's like Awakenings in here.
Guillermo. Instead of air.
Benicio's, mate. Is all I'm going to call him.
Benicio.
Benecito? Whatever.
There's 3 people from Spain I know. Javier Bardem.
Passione del Toro. Ladies and gentlemen, 1994. I know how to Google her very well.
I'm calling her Selma from now on.
I'm just going to go Google some stuff. The Little Rascals, 1994. Yes. An absolutely fantastic movie. And the reason that I won't allow pickles in my home because my wife ruined pickles because of this film.
She ruined pickles. How did she ruin pickles?
By singing the pickle song
all the
deliberately every time. And they've got a tattoo of Pickle Rick from Rick and Morty, and she still says you've got a pickle and sings the song. Why did you pick this film?
I just think there's some, it's just super cute for a start, and it's like, I hate your stinking guts, like there's just so many good bits about it. Good time, good fun. It's in the sort of similar strain to like the Sandlot kids and stuff like that, and that sort of like kid fun time youth that never actually happened to us in our youth, like we never got to do those sorts of things, but you like to romantically think that that's what childhood is about. And like running around in a gang and...
running around in a gang. I don't think I've ever seen this.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure, because I always get...
Can he still sit with us?
Maybe.
I saw The Sandlot, but I don't think I ever... Maybe I saw it once back when I was a kid, but yeah, I don't remember much about this at all.
It was one of those, I don't think it's Disney, but it was one of those summer kids films that Australia cop in the middle of July. So it's like,
I remember the front cover of the video because they used to get it rented quite a lot. It's like the alfalfa, the kid with the hair boner.
And just to upset you...
Oh my God, is that them?
Here is them 20 years after the original film was made. It's very, very disappointing.
Oh, wow. They really do look like child actors, don't they?
Life has been good to 30% of those people.
Even though...
Which one was the rich kid?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to... It's that one there, which you can kind of tell.
Yes.
I actually had a false memory that it was Macaulay Culkin somehow age travelling when this film came out, because he straight up looks like Macaulay Culkin in Richie Rich.
Yeah. I was going to say, when you go to the IMDb, like, when you see, like, the promo shots from the movie... For most of the actors in it, like they didn't do much after this.
we often talk about this when we're looking up films, and any of the actors, because it was a big trend from basically the 90s backwards, that any actors' headshots were black and white because it conveyed more like artistry.
Right.
And you can tell how well they've done if the photos are still black and white that are being used on IMDb. It just meant they didn't do anything bigger. I do love this film. I definitely don't love it as much as The Sandlot and Matilda, 2 films that you mentioned.
Yeah, Sandlot's
and
great.
Dennis the Menace as well. They even Sandlot's more of an extension of Stand By Me. It's like, hey, did you like the kid part and the vomit part? Here's a full movie of that.
No dead kid at the end.
And they had that. It was Tequila song.
Stephen
I would
King.
have loved Kiefer Sutherland still just like on the fence just with a gun. Just watching the Sandlot kids.
You're killing me, Smalls. And then he gets stabbed in the neck by a switchblade knife.
Yes.
I want to see that movie now. What was... watching the second series of... Did you get into the Glorious Ladies of Wrestling, the Glow show?
No, but I've been told to. But I met some of those ladies in Vegas, and they were like, "You need to come to LA with us, and we're going to turn you into a wrestling diva." And I was like, "Heck yeah, I will follow you ladies anywhere."
If it was Alison Brie, we're no longer friends ever again. The reason I bring it up, the chubby kid.
We know why you brought Alison Brie up.
The chubby kid from Sandlot is in it as an adult. Physically has not changed. He's just older. His age has changed, but not his...
the red...
Yeah.
That guy.
The You're Killing Me Small still looks exactly like he did. I should know his name because I watch it that often.
He's a vampire in the X-Files episode. That's what I know him from. And he looks exactly the same as in that too. He just doesn't age, that guy. Every
time we look something up, like any movies or anything, there'll be someone all the way down the cast, and in brackets it will say X-Files 1 episode. Paul will already know that without looking it up. He's that guy.
So you like X-Files?
A lot.
You love them a lot, okay.
X-Files, chick flicks, but iconic ones, like not trashy ones with Justin Timberlake, like... the big ones.
Like which ones? Tell me. Name a couple chick flicks that you just love.
Can I upset you and say Field of Dreams?
Field of Dreams is one of my favourite movies of all time, and I don't care. Perfect
World is the first movie I cried in.
I liked I watch When Harry Met Sally probably like once, twice a year.
Yep.
I watch probably Sleeps in Seattle like once, twice a year. Just if it's on.
Any police show ever.
Not movie, and also got an encyclopedic Law and Order memory. So I'm not a savant.
And if you drop matches on the floor, he can instantly tell you dropped them. He can't count them.
I watch Rain Man at least once a year. Tom Cruise I watched the start of that the other day, and he is so insufferable in that movie. Tom Cruise. If you ever think that you like Tom Cruise,
copy paste anything except The Edge of Tomorrow, and that's my opinion of Tom
even
Cruise.
In that movie, he's also just such a dick as well. Yeah. You can obviously see your brother has got a problem, and you're still being an idiot.
The part of his career that I found unsettling in the movie Magnolia, where he plays pretty much what everyone conceives of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
That had a level of self-aware that I wasn't comfortable seeing come from him.
He just doesn't care. Like, why would you care?
He's like, I can barely hear you from atop of this money.
But then I don't mind him in War of the Worlds. I actually like him in War of the Worlds, and I like him in Collateral. What's your favourite Tom Cruise movie?
None of them.
Don't say Top Gun or you have to leave.
No, what's the bartending one?
Cocktails.
Yeah, haven't seen it, but I'll say that one.
You don't get to pick themes and say it's your favourite.
Why not?
I'm just trying to think what other bartending films are there?
Coyote Ugly.
Do you like Cheers? Are you a big fan of Cheers? Because Paul is.
Yeah, no, that's actually decent.
Do you like Frasier?
Frasier's fun. Yay! Frasier is fun. I remember that used to be like what we would watch because it was on like I think Channel 9 or something.
Yeah.
When
We've
growing
missed
up.
a real good promotion opportunity where we could have said for the last time ever on Dave's Video Graveyard, LeopardLass, and we could have promoted that leading up.
Oh,
to
again.
evening.
Okay.
What other bartending movies?
The thing about let's go back to Little Rascals. Like,
can we talk about like not great actors like Nicolas Cage?
Sure.
Because that guy, I don't like that guy.
You clearly have never seen this show either, because in saying that, there are exceptions of Nicolas Cage's career, including Face Off. Don't upset me. Con Air. Mandy, which was this year. Mum and Dad, which is also this year.
I feel like Dave and I are not going to be friends after this. We were building up a nice friendship, and
do you think
I'd given his children cake, and now it's done.
Do you think if Little Rascals was made now, they would modernise it?
Sadly, yeah.
Do you think it was a roll of dice back then to okay, let's make a kids film that's based in the 30s or the 40s or something? Like that?
Yeah.
No, are you thinking it? No, I don't think it was done back then.
No. The original, this was like the Peanut Gang type thing back in the day when TV was first invented.
But is this film like?
Did you guys see Fatty Finn? Do you remember Fatty Finn as an Australian?
Yes.
Bert Newton was in it, and it was like they had a goat. They were goat races, and that was done in the 30s, and that was set back then. That was such a rad movie.
The oldest Aussie thing
syphilis.
I can think of.
It was so good.
Are we talking like Skippy or older?
Not that.
On our
it must have come out. Fatty Finn, sheesh. I don't even know.
1980.
1980.
That's not.
No, but it was set back.
Okay.
So it was like back in the 50s. I'm going to say Australian 50s.
It's got Dougie the Pizza Boy as Fatty. That was his first.
The greatest ever Australian history film is the movie called Ned. And it's the story of Ned Kelly. And it's probably my favourite Aussie film.
Why do you like horrible things?
It is so bad, it's great. Like,
you could pick, you could throw
the story
a rock.
of Ned Kelly, but like a really terrible comedy about it.
What?
And the best joke in the entire movie is they're sitting down to tea, and Nudge from Hey Dad walks in and goes,
Right.
"G'day, Mr. Kelly." And it's the second best song.
Terrible.
And when they rob...
I don't know, let's put a joke in there that maybe 30 people will recognise.
But when they rob banks, before they rob it, one of the Kelly gang runs in, puts down a gramophone and puts on a record of Human Nature, He Don't Love You No, and then they rob the bank to a choreographed dance. It's a great film.
It's not.
Yeah, no, it is.
Is it like a musical?
No.
Oh, okay, well, you lost me.
No, it's fantastic. It may have been at a time that...
Have you watched it in the last 10 years?
Nope.
How many times did you watch it? Just like one time?
Heaps.
Fell in love with it?
Yep.
Okay.
It was one of those pay TV darlings back in the day of early Austar / Foxtel.
Oh, so you're romanticising it because you
Yes.
paid for it?
Oh, no. For the final time ever. We mentioned that. No, check out Ned. You will be sorry. No, actually, you know what? I know you're not going to check it out. Other than not wanting to, you will not find that film.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say, I don't think I've seen it since VHS. Yeah.
It has that guy out of Offspring, which is a show I don't watch, but I can't
Dexter
think of
Holland?
anything. The guy that's in the Romper Stomper, the new remake of Stan.
Oh, I know that dude.
He used to be really good looking, and now he's just a fat old dude. Not me.
Yeah. Throw some more stones in that glass house of yours.
Pop, me, kettle. Do you want to talk about the other film with the same word in it as one of your choices already, or should we go to another song?
Surprise me.
This is Dave's Video Graveyard, back into the 1990s. It is Dave's Video Graveyard, getting very triggered and upset off air as Paul brings up a Mortal Kombat drawing I did in year 2 that I'm over, so don't ask me about it.
Tell me about it. I'm new to this show.
So, I once...
Just going to go to the toilet.
I once spent an entire term doing this drawing in class. The teacher told me whenever I finished my work, I could draw for the end of the day.
Yep.
So every day for like a term, I rushed through everything because I was very scholastic at school, not just the book club. And
Was that scholastic?
I was Guermo at primary. This was in high school. No, this was primary school.
We on the scholastic spectrum.
Got different words for that
I can
now.
count matches when other kids drop them. So I spent 2 months drawing, an entire term working on this drawing.
Yeah.
Last week of term, I've almost finished it. I'm just colouring it. It's perfect. I go to recess. I had done basically Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Ripping off a guy's head, holding up the bloody head, blood everywhere, perfectly coloured, amazing, best drawing I'd ever did. I'd written Mortal Kombat up the top in the Mortal Kombat font.
Yes.
The teacher used a red pen to cross out the K of Mortal Kombat and write a C next to it as if it marking one of my things. And I still, to this day...
Do you still have it?
No. It's the bane of my existence. I still...
You should have kept it. That would have been, like, I don't know, great.
I still pray for a final destination end to that story, not involving me, but the other people in the story.
You tell that story with the same seriousness of someone who's been a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
I don't know if you... When you said it off air, I don't know if you heard the MASH theme or if it was just inside my head, but that's what it was.
There should be like cracks of light coming through the window. She sort of just talk about
You need the Colonel from Rambo to be telling me about getting over it. I've seen stills of the new Rambo. He's found a new kind of human growth hormone, allegedly, because he is massive and older.
Is he just like one big testicle now?
He looks like a Bobo from Double Dragon now. I'm not even joking. But he's wearing a cowboy hat, so that was pretty cool.
Man. So...
They're making a new Rambo because it's 2018.
Is that
and you need someone...
Sylvester Stallone?
It's Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. You know, his face was a forceps accident.
Sorry?
His face. You know, his face is a bit droopy. Forceps delivery gone wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Needed 5 steps.
I was going to say.
I didn't want to go gynecological on that joke. Gynecological. I know words. Guillermo.
You're still saying it wrong.
How many syllables? How many syllables?
3.
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
No, not
Guillermo?
Yeah.
No?
Guillermo. Yeah, there you go.
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Guillermo. Nah, it's gone again. Okay, so 1982, a film came out to terrify children. The Dark Crystal. From Jim Henson, Frank Oz, who plays the greatest puppet in the history of film, being Yoda, but also was the greatest puppet.
I've never seen a Star Wars film.
Paul, there's a shot in your direction. Someone hasn't seen Empire Strikes Back.
I respect her choice. That's called the high road, Dave.
Say what you want.
Pretty comfy up here.
So, does the movie look different from you guys' Ivory Tower? Is it the same as the version I've seen? Or is mine on beta and you guys are watching
pretty
4K
much.
Blu-ray? Why did you pick this film?
I think it was because I remember it as a thing that I used to watch through my childhood. So I was born in 86, so I must have been watching it like early 90s, I think. And my grandfather was like a video technician at TAFE. And he used to do all that sort of stuff. So he used to meticulously record things off of television and meticulously remove the ads so that we didn't have to watch any ads because that was gross.
So he was a ladies' man also?
Yeah, that's right, that's right. And he taught me everything I know. And he used to then put an orange spot on all of the movies that we could watch.
Wow.
So we had these little things, and so we would go through, and I just remember watching that one and just being like, terrified me. But also the puppets were amazing, and it was kind of like that fairy tale-ish sort of story. And yeah, it's kind of just one of those like classic, you know, good versus evil.
Well, we're now
quest.
apparently, which I didn't think we were at the time, but we're all now classified as millennials, right?
Yes, I read that the
Which
other day.
I didn't consider to be a thing until recently. But everyone goes on about us being super touchy or super entitled and stuff. We really are a generation that grew up with some totally messed up kid stuff. Like if you think about, like you mentioned Willow earlier off air.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty objectively terrifying if you revisit it.
Yeah.
As was Legend, as was
Never-ending story.
Never-ending Story.
Mm-hmm.
I still, if I see a white horse drowning in mud,
Which you do like every week.
That's it. Whenever I see the
That makes me
swamp,
sad.
the swamp of sadness, I'm instantly taken back.
Bog of
We
Stench.
really, yeah. Bog of Stench,
Eternal
which
Stench,
we
sorry.
experienced this evening. The Dark Crystal and The Labyrinth are both films that are absolute mastercrafts from Jim Henson.
Yeah.
More of a fan of Labyrinth. Paul, you all right, mate?
Tickle me just right now.
Got him right on the spot. The Skeksis are the scariest thing in movies, other than Meg Mucklebone, which is that Legend or the witch from Legend, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Talk about. Did the Skeksis upset you?
The Skeksis kind of did, but in like quite a romantic kind of way. Like they are, I don't know, they're just over the top, opulent, classic hoarders.
Yeah.
You know, like in that sort of rich person kind of like creepy way that, you know, tickles my fancy, I guess. I don't know. I really like them.
In my endeavour to stay current and hip, as you know, I totally do.
Yeah, your
well
vest is
when I'm not
showing that right now.
watching things. There was at the time there was a T-shirt on eBay which I only recently unfollowed because it was just a painful memory. I think it was like 2009, perhaps.
Yes.
And it was a T-shirt design that had a giant Skeksy on it. It just said in massive gold letters, "I'm Skeksy and I know it."
That's
And I wanted
brilliant.
that shirt forever. And
Why
then
do you
I
not have
only
the shirt?
recently didn't get it.
I'm sad.
This is coming from like
I'm going to go get on eBay now.
I didn't buy the tracksuit pants, and I've been upset about that ever since.
Yeah.
Do you like the Dark Crystal or Labyrinth more? Labyrinth is the correct answer. But
Labyrinth, I think I probably quote more often. Like, hello.
Yeah,
Did you say hello?
Hello.
No, I said hello. That's close enough. No, and The Labyrinth, I was just talking about that the other day. So The Labyrinth was the first movie that I ever saw a man, David Bowie, and was like, oh, I totally dig men. And I was like, but they have disappointed me ever since.
Story that you were telling me.
Because they don't wear pants like that or makeup. So men have just disappointed me ever since I made that realisation as about a 5 or 6 year old girl.
the MySpace years would have been exciting for you, would they have not?
I kind of miss them. I didn't really get on board with
Because
MySpace,
the pants
and then
and the
MySpace
makeup were fully
died.
in for a little bit.
Yeah, just MySpace was dead.
You should add me on there.
He's still on there.
Hashtag pay watches. I don't know.
Hashtag current.
You wouldn't get it, Paul. You're just not hip.
True. Yeah.
You're not dank lit.
Are you both looking forward to the sequel that they've been planning? That's coming out next year or the year after.
The Dark Crystal?
No, Labyrinth.
Making a sequel of The Labyrinth without David Bowie is
Dead to
like
me.
making a sequel of Terminator but with Christian Bale. Like, it just shouldn't happen.
Who are they going to have?
Glad it never did.
Aren't they doing a prequel of The Dark Crystal?
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
Yeah.
That's been the
I think that's a
for a while.
Netflix series, possibly.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I had not heard about the Labyrinth thing,
It's
and I
only
might
like-
write an angry letter.
Well,
because
basically,
I'm
they've
also
just
old and angry.
finished the script for it, so like and I think they're getting everyone back apart
I
from David Bowie, of
hope
course.
They recast.
Hologram.
I hope they recast Bowie with someone that they think possibly could be that. Like,
So-
I could imagine them trying and putting like Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords in there.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Well, he does that Bowie song.
Yeah. But who else would be? They'd have Kanye. Like, that would be
Kanye.
the world that we live in.
Jesus.
Wouldn't they
That's-
change it? Yeah, change it to a female one. Like a
It'd be
female
gender
Jareth.
swap. I'd be all for seeing
like the Ariana Grande.
Nicki Minaj would be fantastic. Especially if her clothes are revealing as Boeing's one. She can play the worm and
Yeah.
the Jareth.
Bootylicious worm.
I'm a fan of her music videos, just saying.
Oh, they're great.
I'm mute.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
doesn't matter.
I know where I pick Ariana Grande from.
It's relevant.
Because you're hip.
Yeah. Labyrinth, definitely one of my all-time favourites. I remember for ages too. Remember when you couldn't get it?
Yes.
Like, I remember when they first released it on DVD, it was just like, I don't know, mid-2000s sort of thing, and everyone was just like, wow, like Labyrinth again. Like, because up until then it was on VHS or like
Yeah.
bad copies and lots of stuff.
I think I've got like some collector's edition DVDs of both of those movies, and I've got original movie posters from both of them.
Oh, nice.
From the original release, and they're like that paper, and some nightmare had folded them in half, which really ground my gears.
There is a website called The Wrong Side of the Art where you can illegally get the high-res printing file of the original posters
Holy
and stuff.
mackerel! If I knew how to
But
use
don't
a
do that
computer,
because it's illegal. But I have heard that's the thing.
yeah, right.
Off topic, where did you find that Money Train thing that you got off of? There's
I-
a picture of him with like a huge banner from like a really forgotten 90s movie called Money Train with
I got
Wesley
a
Snipes.
12-foot banner this week from, I'm guessing, an old video shop. This guy was just selling it because he didn't know what it was because he had it forever like wrapped up around like a
Yeah.
postage tube.
Yeah.
And he unrolled it. He goes, I don't even know what Money Train is. And it was 12 foot. I'm like, I showed up and I'm like, so what do you want for it? And he's like, $1 a foot. And I actually peeled out. It was like that IKEA ad, the start the car
Start the
thing.
car.
Yeah.
It was that because I'm like, oh, okay.
Don't let him go on eBay.
Go through my coin thing in my car trying to find a $2 because I had like, he's going to want $50. I don't want to spend $50, but he's going to want $12 later, and I now have 12 foot of something I don't need.
I didn't see your kids' faces, like, because they were holding up the banner, but I'm just assuming there was, like, 3 really confused kids. Like, what is this?
I would let them watch it, but they wouldn't be interested. It's a classic film.
Future
Okay.
episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Speaking of episodes, check out our podcast, davesvideograveyard.com, and if you want to join in the conversation and let LeopardLass know all about how wrong she is with her terrible views on movies that I enjoy, you can jump on our Facebook, Dave's Video Graveyard, at WOWFM, as we get back into the music, as I've already got it ready and I'm not trying to find it now, this is Dave's Video Graveyard. It is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOW FM, joined by the tiki-bar superstar. Did I make that up, or did someone else make that up? Because that's a pretty
Probably
cool
my
description.
PR lady did it.
Yeah, maybe.
She's great.
Tell us about your burlesque career.
Well, it's about 5 years in now, and I travel around the world doing stuff, so it's kind of cool.
Do tell.
Well, you know, it's just one of those things. You're just lucky enough to jump in a plane and hit up people that are either doing shows or that you've met and in festivals and things like that, and then you just do it over there. And doing the Flaming Assholes was probably the cool bit, and then now people go, oh, we want to have that, so you get the emails and stuff like, come to our festival, or, you know, if you're passing through, do this, or if you want to come here, we'll have you this. So
excellent.
Now you see people that make a career out of like working with hot cookers and grease cookers, getting the grease burn scars and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have the lower back burn scars?
I do have a booty scar from a 3rd degree burn that I gave myself by incorrectly placing an asshole. Yeah, but there's nowhere else from there.
That still sounds like the way an old lady talks about the cat's bottom.
Yes. Well, funny story, I met Cheech.
Oh, it's showing me a tussle.
I met Cheech, like Cheech and Chong in Kentucky, and I was like, so we had this competition.
Did you think I would think of a different Cheech?
Well, I don't know. Like,
which one?
All of them. Yeah, and so the girls were like, oh, go and see if he will judge the competition. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'm Australian, I'll do it. And so I walked over and I met he introduced me to his wife, and I was like, oh yeah, we're doing this competition and we'd love it if you wanted to come and just judge. Like, that would be hilarious. And I was telling him about the Flaming Assholes. Yeah. And he was like, you do what to your asshole? I was like, all right, we're going to leave it here.
Could you please do the speech from Dusk Till Dawn, like while I'm on stage? That would be great. Where do you go from there, Paul?
So wait,
do your impression of that speech.
No. Which countries have you been to?
So most recently, I went to Japan last year. Yep. That was really cool. And performed for a big like punk 48-hour punk festival that only the Japanese could run with such efficiency. Like 20-minute sets whilst another stage is being constructed. Yeah. And then so everyone just politely migrates to the left stage, and then they mosh out in suits for 30 minutes, and then they just politely move back to the other stage, and then the next one goes. It was insane. One of the biggest pits I've ever been in for Guitar Wolf, in the tiniest space. Yeah. And just ridiculously looking around and being like, there's literally like 50-year-old men in suits here.
Played a gig a few years ago with Guitar Wolf.
Oh.
And my favourite thing I've ever seen was the mixer getting angry at Jive, taking his snare drum off the stage and then playing about 6 more songs, just hitting the mic directly instead of a snare.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where they had wheeled the instruments off and you could still hear that twanging noise of an electric guitar not plugged in, go and they're still playing songs. And I was like,
they are insane.
And because I got into them through the film Wild Zero. I don't know if you've ever seen that. They actually made a zombie film. Where they're the main characters of the film. It is fantastic. It is.
I hear they don't break character.
No.
They stayed at like one of my friend's places, and she said like they did not break character the inside. The sunglasses inside, just like they're...
It's basically someone that back in the day on like Instant Messenger found a photo of the Ramones. Went, let's do that.
Yeah,
but just
that's
a
our
photo.
thing.
Like,
But also had I know a couple of bands who've toured Japan recently, and they said the best thing about them is that most of the places of their supply amps, because like you're not getting around by car, you're getting around by public transport, so all you have to do is get your guitar there and you can play, and it's just, they said it's one of the best places to play.
Well, the Aussie band, they're no longer called Fury, but no, not Fury, Dungeon.
Okay.
No, they're now called Lord. They actually shot a DVD in Japan to a crowd that had never heard them before, but they all had choreographed crowd moves, like metal, like power metal music.
Yeah.
And they're all like doing synchronized things. And it's the most visually pleasing shot music, like DVD, live DVD.
Yeah.
Because they're like just playing their like thrashy power metal stuff.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd is bouncing and like doing synchronized dance moves.
Awesome.
Good times.
such
Now,
good
speaking
times.
of other cultures, here's one that makes me cry, and I'm a bit upset that you chose this film. It is from 2017, so last year. Movie that made me sniffle in the cinemas. It is Coco.
I ugly cried in the cinemas.
Why
watching
did
this
you
one.
pick this devastating film?
I think I really do like kids' movies, probably because I see them a lot more these days than anything else. But this one was just
Until
like
the court order kicks in.
lol. Hit all of the feels with all of the things. Like, it was just a really good representation of that culture's holiday and why the Day of the Dead happens and why it's important to that culture. And I feel like, I mean, I'm not Mexican or anything like that, and I can't really speak on behalf of that community, but I feel like it was a really good...
surprises me to hear that.
I feel like it was it did it really well.
Yeah.
And it's a really good way of introducing children to something that is of a different culture of their own, and in a really nice way.
Kind of good timing
and
too,
making them-
considering what they're being subjected to. So,
It was really good. Like, it was a celebration, and it explained. Yeah, I don't know. I just loved it.
Yeah.
And it did make me ugly cry.
And it does go down that, much like, I know it had its detractors as well, but much like one of your other choices tonight, it paid so much respect to the actual law and the history of the actual celebration and the culture.
Yeah.
But you still had your detractors come out and say, this is misappropriating our culture and stuff. And it's like, no, it's not. It's informing people about it, if anything.
I think it's a very tricky conversation at the moment, especially with how tricky everything is globally right now and politically and everything. So of course,
I
there's
talk into a microphone several times a week. Trust me, it's tough.
Yeah. And obviously, you've always got to respect why people are saying they didn't like the movie, especially if they come from that culture.
Yeah.
And listen to them. But I think, and this is one of the things with Tiki as well, if I feel like if we open everything up and sort of share things, that's when we get a greater respect and understanding for where people come from, and that's how we can grow and things like that. And I would hate to think that there was things that I was excluded from knowing or learning about because I'm not of that culture. And so that's what I really love about these sort of movies like Coco and then Moana, which is on there as well, is it's like, even though it's like a lollipop version of the real thing, it's still gives its starting point and opens a dialogue between me and my children, and we're having it right now on radio, and someone else might then have that conversation and watch a movie and go, oh, I didn't even understand why that makeup or the sugar skull thing was significant, and now I can do a bit of research, and now I can inform myself and maybe make a better decision about why, like putting on that makeup or having some sort of history behind me.
Well, particularly, it's a hot topic at the moment in burlesque, because I don't know if you saw the competitive burlesque artist that is currently doing a full, basically a glammed up version of Native American Indian. So with the head dress and all, like a real stereotypical...
Who?
It's in the US now, but like it is currently a huge... like melting pot.
Yeah.
Like,
it's always
don't read the
is.
comments is my suggestion for that one, but it's a huge issue that's going on. I'll actually tag you in the story. That's always great on radio.
But remember, back in '94, they did Aladdin with no Middle Eastern people in it involved. Well, we grew up on whitewashing, and a lot of people can't deal with it these days, which is just upsetting, because why wouldn't you have a completely Latin American cast for Coco, or have The Rock, and I don't know who's in Moana, but people from that region.
Yeah,
it's just it shouldn't be like a new thing, and it should be congratulated, but people shouldn't be patting themselves on the back. It should have been happening a long time ago, sort of thing. So, yeah, I think it's great that they're finally getting it right.
Definitely. Totally off topic. I played the best Pearl Jam song in the history of the world just before. There was a reason for that. You've got something to promote, Paul.
I do have something to promote, yes. So on the 22nd of November, I will be sitting with Shannon on High Fidelity, and we're going to be going through... it's the 25th anniversary of Versus, the second Pearl Jam album. And we're going to be going through that album and just discussing its legacy, and I've got all sorts of trivia on it because, as well as Law and Order and X-Files, I also have extensive Pearl Jam.
I'm guessing there's going to be some hashtag Dave cheap shots on that evening.
Look, there could be a new show coming.
You'll be the first guest, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing. I've just been sowing the seeds of me and Shannon's new show.
Went to the DVD store Friday afternoon.
Yes.
Let the kids pick their two. I picked my movies. And Ollie, even though we have it maybe purchased legally in a downloaded format that you can't purchase. But anyway, I, on Friday night, cried for the first time in a few weeks for a thing. Because we had downloaded Moana, I had never seen Lava. Do you know what I'm talking about? No. After the final credits of Moana, there is a story called Lava. Oh. It's a love story about two volcanoes. I challenge you both to watch it this week. It's fully up on YouTube on Pixar's channel.
Okay.
It is a love story and you will both cry.
Okay.
Watch it.
I'm not surprised.
It was like the after credits scene for Moana.
Okay.
But it was... I cannot think of the name, but there was two quite famous Hawaiian ukulele-style singers.
Okay.
He was a big guy, and she was really beautiful.
Didn't he do What a Wonderful World? He was
And
made famous for that one.
the radio.
Yeah.
Somewhere over the radio, did you say?
The rainbow. The volcanoes are done in their likenesses.
Oh.
Check it out. It's called Lava, and it will make you snot cry.
Okay.
Not ugly cry, snot cry.
Okay.
You'll have two full-on 2-year-old...
I might go live and do it from my LeopardLass page and just...
You'll have two full-on 2-year-old girl candles hanging out of your nose watching this film, because that's exactly what I
Maybe I won't
have.
go live if it's that visual.
No, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So check that out, because I don't call things beautiful unless it involves Google Images. Yeah, so check out High Fidelity.
22nd November,
22nd.
Yes.
Shout out to Shannon. Cool. So I guess we should play a little bit more music.
What are you gonna play?
I don't know. I didn't actually think we'd be playing as many songs. So this is Dave's Video Graveyard. It is Dave's Video Graveyard, 100.5 WOW FM. Don't forget to join in the conversation. Dave's Video Graveyard at WOW FM on Facebook. Have we got another film?
We do. We have Hairspray, the recent one with John Travolta and drag.
Yes.
Not the Ricky Lake version.
No.
Why did you pick this film?
I love musicals. I love them.
So I ask again, why did you pick this film?
So this one, I don't know. This one just is like, I mean, number one, it's got John Travolta in it, and
I ask once more, why did you pick this film?
Because it's just lots of fun. I don't know.
Because there's other musicals with John Travolta that you could have picked.
What, like Grease?
Oh, are we fighting? I didn't realise we
We're
were
not
fighting.
fighting. No, I'm just saying, like, what, like Grease? Like, I mean, Grease is a good one.
Grease hasn't got Zac Efron and he's dreamy.
I will pay that.
It's just, I just like the... I don't know. I don't know why I picked this one out of all of the musicals that I love, because I love Sweeney Todd, the musical.
Do you like... It's not a musical, but do you like the fake biopic, The Thing You Do?
I haven't seen it.
It's basically Tom Hanks' film, and it's about like a fake Beatles type band.
Oh, okay.
But it visually... That's the thing I don't like about Hairspray, is visually it looks quite similar.
Okay,
I do not enjoy this film.
Don't like... So tell me why you don't like this film.
Flipping it.
Because there's not enough uncovered... there's not enough Danny Zuko Travolta for this one, in this one for me.
Yeah, okay. That's a fair point. I mean, it's definitely...
But that's kind of a problem with the world in general now, because it no longer exists.
It was just... I liked... some of the themes that it covered and things like that, and I mean, I like John Travolta dressed as a woman, and like a very overweight woman. And who's the guy that plays the dad?
Christopher Walken.
He's just fun. He's just great in anything. Like, I remember him in that, was it a Fatboy Slim?
Weapon of Choice.
That was so good. And he didn't do that much. But, you know, I don't know. I just enjoy his face in that film.
I can't really think of anything that he wasn't great in, except maybe the second Batman film.
I just recently saw him in Father Figures, and I think he needs to maybe just stop. He's looking very in that movie. He has to run, and he's not really running very
Not
fast.
good. Not
The
good.
most recent thing I've rewatched him in was Seven Psychopaths,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, I've got a love on for him.
It was a remake of the John Waters film from way back, like the Ricky Lake version, all that stuff. And it was like, I remember when it came out, like everyone was like, "Oh, it's kind of weird that they redid it," but like I remember it did well. Like I think I've watched it once. Like I haven't watched it recently, but you know,
There's just certain properties that when they come back around, it's hard to hide that they're a cash grab. And I think this one falls into that category very hard for me, where it's like there was no love to it. It was full on.
but there was also
Everyone
things
loves
like,
Glee now.
Oh, can we start making John Waters films? Ah, no, we can't.
I Want a Crybaby remake. Johnny Depp's not doing nothing now that he's not Captain Jack.
Have you? Sorry,
Isn't he in a band? Johnny
Yeah,
Depp's
he's
just
in a
joined a
band.
He's in
band.
the American Vampires,
The Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah. I have heard. Sorry, off topic. So that new The Crimes of Grindelwald, the new Fantastic Beasts. Apparently, it's tanking.
Yeah, right.
And I've seen. This is where I work at a place that's got a lot of merch for that movie, and I think it's going to tank. Like it's apparently, and I think it might be his.
Which, given how established that franchise is, regardless, like a few years ago, you could just stencil HP on like literal dog crap, and someone would buy it. For
so you're
ridiculous-
saying tank is in? It's like gonna act. It's gonna die.
It's going to die. Apparently, it's not even released yet. It comes out just before Christmas or around Christmas time. And the reviews coming in are not good. Like it's like about a 40 to 50%.
Wow.
They reckon that they just tried to do too much with it.
So it's basically the Hobbit trilogy.
So yeah, and then like I don't think like I mean a lot of people actually didn't want Johnny Depp anywhere near it because of like his personal life and all that stuff. So that could have killed some reviews as well. So I don't know. Time will tell. I mean, I'm sure it'll still make money.
Is that because he tried bringing dogs to like an island in Australia?
There's
More
other
of
things he
a-
did to girlfriends.
More of a domestic problem.
Yeah.
Ugh, I live under a rock, and I'd miss a lot of things, and then
It's indicative of the media that like they haven't actually covered that more. I can't believe that more people like they haven't sort of broadcast it more.
Yeah,
because,
right.
Like, it's right out there for everyone to see, but everyone's like, not Johnny. And it's like
We
yeah,
still
Johnny.
need to seal tickets to pirate rides.
Yeah,
So let's
well, he's being
brush that
sacked
one.
as Jack.
That's
so-
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because why are they still making Pirates of the Caribbean films?
Yes. So
Remake Crybaby is the point to take away from this
with
conversation.
Zac Efron.
And still have Tracy Lords in it.
Man, I like Zac Efron a lot more than I probably should. But every movie he's done since, like,
You've screwed your face up a long time too. I recently mentioned him on the podcast, and you were all for it.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I should hate him because I didn't like the High School Musicals, and then Bad Neighbors. He's very funny.
He is fantastic. He actually plays.
He's gonna be Ted Bundy.
Yeah. Did you see Dirty Grandpa?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
What I love about it is it's one of the most recent Robert De Niro films.
okay.
And
I think
he
I saw
plays-
some film.
He plays
shorts for
a
it.
filthy, filthy old man. Like we're talking lowbrow, like
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen, but with none of the smarts.
Yeah.
Like that's how smutty this film is. And what I love though is the film did bring along the older audience that wanted to see De Niro in. They're like, oh, this might be like Heat.
Yeah.
So
Tricked ya.
this
Please.
film got more panned, but the funny thing I like about it is Zac Efron in that plays basically like the Dean Martin-esque straight man. Like
Yeah.
he is the level-headed one, and De Niro plays what essentially Zac Efron would be in any other film.
It's yeah,
And
Zach.
that boy can dance and can sing, which wins me over.
That's the
Yeah.
other thing I saw is Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
That's great as well.
It's very, very funny.
My favourite part of that entire... Have you seen that film?
No.
Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. It opens up with a montage of these two brothers going to all these family events.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're the life of the party. They're like... And it's this whole slow motion, like 360 montage of like, they're jumping on the trampoline at one of their cousins' weddings. They're like... And everyone's loving it. And then later in the film, they revisit the montage, but with what really happened, because they
Yeah.
were drunk the whole time. And it's similar to the Wolf of Wall Street when he
Yeah.
drives the car home safely, and then it shows the actual driving home. and they show that they're actually like they break one of their little
Menaces.
cousin's arm on the trampoline and like stuff like that. That film is fantastic.
It's very
Right,
funny.
I'll have
Yep.
to check it out.
Father Figures is not. I should go. I want to go back. I watched this Owen Wilson and the dude from The Office.
Steve Carell.
No, the guys in Hangover that lost his tooth.
Ed Helms.
Ed Helms.
Father Figures. I don't think I even heard about it.
It was just came on it. We got home from watching Halloween, and I was like, I just need like something. I don't want to go to
You
bed
need
right
the
now.
debrief,
I
yeah.
need like a bit of a comedy. I'm like, and it's like with Netflix, you start watching it, and you're like, well, it's already playing now. I've got to watch it to
See
clear
it
it
out,
I've
yeah.
got to clear it off my queue. So and it's like, and it goes for a while. And Owen Wilson, I don't know why he plays the same person in every movie now. It's just like that sort of happy-go-lucky sort of, yeah.
Speaking of the queue, we recently watched all of the Haunting of Hill House, or how do you say?
Yeah.
It auto-played some totally unrelated crap afterwards.
Yep.
And about 30 seconds in, we stopped it. It is now suggesting movies because we watched that 30 seconds.
Oh, no,
It's
you went down the
constantly
rabbit hole.
saying,
Yep.
you know the jump back in feature that it's always pushing?
Yeah.
It is always this show, and I can't remember what the show is, but it's like one of those spin-offs of, it's not Jane the Virgin or Ugly Betty, but it's one of like the further down the chain. So it has ruined the demographic of our
Breaking
entire...
Kimmy Schmidt?
No, I watched that. I enjoyed that. But this is like suggesting, you
watched
like...
E.T. and then they had an animated film, and they were like, it's just really weird. I don't know how they sort of sync up all their, yeah.
And just jumping all the way back to Coco.
Yep.
I realised when we were talking about it off air, it's very... Have you ever or heard of or seen Spirited Away?
Yes.
It's a really iconic film. It's... you haven't seen Coco Ball, but that's down the path. Like, that's
really?
the blueprint. Not as dark as Spirited Away,
Yeah.
but that's definitely... That's the flavour of the
okay.
film. So don't watch that film if you ugly cry at animation.
Okay. Yeah.
'cause-
Noted.
Great Gatsby.
So I threw this one in. Sorry, here we go. There's a sigh.
No, just a sigh, because every time Baz Luhrmann comes up, I think of Paul Mercurio, and he's on my list of celebrities I'd like to fight.
It's not, you, said
That's
you said a different word last time. It wasn't fight.
So I put that on there because of Baz Luhrmann. So I could just choose one Baz Luhrmann film, so I put The Great Gatsby there because it's got a banging soundtrack.
Romeo and Juliet's better.
Yep, actually, I would probably agree with you there, although there's a little bit more bass heavy in Great Gatsby, which I like. I like a little dirty bass to get me going. So I just really like Baz Luhrmann films, even Australia, because he's just...
What was that caveat?
I like that film for a different reason, too.
I just think the way he is a visual feast from the moment it starts to the moment you leave.
I call his movies glitter farts.
Yeah.
Because everything is slow motion and there's some glitter. Like, do you remember, Paul, late in the 90s, early 2000s, all the action movies always happened, and in the background there was always someone welding and there was slow motion sparks coming down.
Yeah.
That is like Baz Luhrmann saw that and went, I wonder if I can do that with glitter. And just every scene is slick, which it's the same thing like when J.J. Abrams first came out on the scene. Everyone's like, what's with all these lens flares? Now everyone's so used to them, you don't even notice when they're in a film. His films still have this pretentious slow motion sleekness to it that just...
They're magic to watch.
Everything he does is style over substance, and that's my honest opinion.
Can we just go back? Because you said you like Australia for a different reason. What would be the different reason that you like Australia? What's the Pawnee reason that you like?
One day I'm going to marry Hugh Jackman.
Oh, okay.
I
cool.
sat
Go
through
ahead.
3 hours of him doing Broadway just because I thought he might mention Wolverine, and he didn't.
What?
Okay.
The
I went to The Boy from Oz.
The Boy from Oz.
Not The Boy
And you
from
thought
Oz. It was the best of all the stage show.
By yourself?
Oh.
No, I went with my other action-loving mate, and it was... We were physically the big... We could have...
Were you like the down and dirty version of the Night at Roxbury guys going to like places
It
that you
really
shouldn't be.
was.
It's like, this is going to be great, man.
You know the scene in the end of Alien vs Predator where the two predators are on top of the thing and there's all the aliens run up and the predators are winning the fight to begin with.
I want to see how this goes.
Standing in the middle of that crowd, if for some reason everyone got infected with the rage virus from 28 Days Later, we could have held our own for a very long time in that building because we were the only ones there that the back shelf of our hatchback didn't have Beanie Babies on it. Like, that's the demographic of that concert.
So this is, what year is this? Was this back in your emo thing? Did you have
I
your
would
black
love
hair?
to say that it wasn't 2016.
Wow.
Oh my lord.
And I bought all the merch too.
Did
I'll
you?
wear the shirt next week.
Why?
Because it's Hugh Jackman. It's Arnie Debs, mate.
Why?
That's fair.
Yeah. No. Have you seen him? Have you seen his back?
Have you? Does he know you've seen his back?
Well, this court order says yes, he did. Also, speaking of
You
Hugh,
were like you're like an onion. And like an ogre too.
is it because I
And
smell?
a parfait.
Pardon?
And a parfait.
And a parfait. Parfait is the best meal I've ever had. Yeah, man, I'm shocked. Go on with something. I got to mull about this.
He was obviously in Eddie the Eagle, another film. I have to watch. I have a rule that I have to see all of Hugh Jackman's films, which is unfortunate because that campaign movie looks terrible. You know, the next movie's
I'll
coming.
watch that over most other things he's done.
Whatever. Have you not seen Prisoners? That movie makes you not want to watch movies for like 3 weeks.
Why?
Because it's just that really
dark?
terrible, dark, yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Good times.
Great
Vamp,
Gatsby.
I'm trying to find more Hugh Jackman films.
I even love, with an absolute passion, Paperback Hero. I've even seen the episode of Blue Heelers he's on. And
What? Was he on Blue Heelers?
his wife
He's an
was
actor in
Deborah Lee
Australia, of course he
Furness.
is.
Obviously, she
Yeah.
was way more famous with him at the time. She basically said, "Can you cast my unknown husband in one of your episodes as an extra?"
My oldest friend used to meticulously film Blue Heelers on tape and we would watch it like because she loved it, and she would even write fanfics about Blue Heelers.
Wow.
Yes, she
What
wrote.
sort of
Lots of Clancy.
I don't even
Slash
remember
fiction.
like they were just like
Was it sexual stories?
no, they weren't sexual. They,
Oh, I was going to get your friend's number and we could have collaborated.
I mean,
on a
Zinzi
Hugh
Clark,
Jack-
if you're out there, get in on this.
What John Wood?
But yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was
Do you want
just
to buy?
like.
Do you want to buy a super industry fund?
You can get the entire. I won't say the price in here, but like it's actually criminal how much you can get the entire collection for.
Please tell me it's on VHS.
No, it's like it's 100+ discs. It's like Prisoner. There's a lot of episodes of that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There's heaps. It's crazy.
Someone Like You? You've watched? You watched everyone? Kate and Leopold.
Kate and Leopold is pretty terrible. Except it's kind of a spiritual successor to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure because it's a time traveling. Keep going. There's nothing on that list that I have not seen.
I'm surprised.
We'll go to
But
our
no,
last
no.
song this evening and come back here on DVG. It is the
Real Steel.
that Rock'em Sock'em Robots live action film is great, as is Australia. This is Dave's Video Graveyard. It is Dave's Video Graveyard / Hugh Jackman Appreciation Month here on DVG.
Still
Paul.
calling Australia home.
I do.
What's the other song that Peter Allen had? Is it Rio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. If you like peanut, no, it's not.
No,
it's
Rio.
not the
It's like,
escape.
my
Yeah,
body.
that's
So you
right.
Did you catch a maraca? Did he throw a maraca?
No, he didn't. But he it was pretty upsetting.
and not one mention of Wolverine.
And someone in the front row had a shirt on that said, "I came to see Wolverine," and on the back of the shirt it says, "So where is he?" And Hugh got the guy up on stage and got a selfie with him.
Oh.
So I still forgot I have to look up that guy and murder him.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like hitting your friends like, see, I told you it would work.
I told you this shirt I knitted with my own hair was going to be a hit. Do you have any shows coming up when it comes to burlesque, or you're more so focusing on being a tiki-bar superstar? You're going to Mexico.
I am going to Mexico. Woo!
When's this?
In January for the Patron Perfectionist. I'm the representative for Australia, so there's going to be...
Going to look up Cheech?
Yeah, him and I, way back. And then, I'm going to try and keep my nose clean over there. And, we're going to... so that's in January. So there's 20 finalists from around the world. We're going to battle it out.
Nice.
With that. So I guess you can always hit me up on Facebook, LeopardLass, and check out all my adventures there, or through the bar doing tiki stuff with Hades Hula House.
Good
It's
time.
probably the best way to see what's going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Paul.
I found out what assholes are tonight, and I'm happy.
You did.
And I've been
That's
and not
probably
as
not
happy as I've
something-
been about the Peter Allen thing.
That's probably not something that I'd Google, though. Like, you have to specify the spelling of that.
Yeah, I'm going to check one. Because that first Google image search was quite quite confronting.
It was weird that it was in your recently searched before you even got here.
Came up as like...
Most viewed search thing. Awesome. So coming up on the podcast, we're continuing our look into Steven Spielberg and his fantastic films, which we learned on the weekend that Close Encounters of the Third Kind sucks. It's a blueprint for E.T.
It doesn't suck, but like it's just not something we could laugh at. So I was like, because we were going to do that, and I'm like, nah, let's not do that. Let's not do that again.
Let's find something else with River Phoenix in it. Not keen?
No, I'm surprised you don't have a button for Tism.
Next week.
We got next week on the radio. We have
Next week we are joined by Vivon Claire / Justin Thomas.
That's
Our
right,
first ever drag king.
Yep.
I've really got to do some research before then, so as to be.
I just
To
have
be
the
informed.
same
To
standard
be
that you
informed.
already like.
Have you ever seen Justin Time perform?
I have not. No.
Fab. Like,
Fab?
really good. Yeah, lots of fun.
I'm not sure
He's awesome.
which persona we're going to get.
Well,
I'm hoping that it's a Two-Face.
Oh, what do you
In
call
fact,
it? What's that?
if you know
That's
her,
a
or if no
burlesque-
one who knows it,
That's
knows,
a well-known burlesque. Act. So
that would be amazing.
I'll run it by them.
Them.
I did check. So
Okay, cool.
them.
You so woke.
Hashtag woke.
Axl Rose making sense in 2018. Did you see that story?
No.
Oh, no.
He's spoken out against the way the government's been run in America.
Okay.
Made some great points, and it was totally overshadowed by everyone using the hashtag woke Axl. Because it's like the fact that he's the voice of reason in 2018 is really upsetting.
Did he then get into a Twitter war with him and Kid Rock?
I'm going to start a social media war with Post Malone, actually. But I might have to wait until after going to Mexico because I don't want to have some sort of feud with a big celebrity on my conscience before then. But yeah, I don't think he's entitled to have always tired tattooed on his face when he does not have 3 children, 2 businesses, and he's definitely got a PA.
So is that an exclusive here on Dave's Video Graveyard?
Yeah,
Is that
I'm gonna
shots fired?
Oh, so many shots. I'm going
And then
to...
he's going to come back with like an audio, like the audio corrector. With my Post Malone thing is like I'd heard about it and I saw the person with the tattoos on his face and I was like, I gotta hear him, and my God, he is awful.
I mean, I like his music and things like that, but I just don't think you can be that tired.
No.
He
I was
looks-
tired after listening to him.
He looks like a cross between like myself and a used envelope in my house that my children have scribbled all over. But in saying that, he's
He
like
used
a,
the pad with your phone number on.
I know he speaks really highly of me, though, so I should probably not, be too
Name
hard
drop.
on him.
You
But
should have heard what she said off air post.
But yeah, that's an exclusive.
Nice.
Start a social media fight with him.
she was calling you Home Malone.
And your next album's gonna be you just like slapping your face.
Good times. Good times.
All right. Well, that's it for another week.
Pretty
DVG. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been
Anytime.
great. I've learnt so many movie things.
I'm going to come down and I haven't been to the bar yet, but I will come down soon.
Yes, please do.
Awesome. Do you want to sponsor our show?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Sweet. Just, I don't know how that works. Just give me money before you leave.
Okay.
I think that's how, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Wait, that's what you make me do every week.
Finishing up tonight with a well thought out song choice because it's been deserved this evening. We're going to end this evening with Paul's theme.
That's it.
This is 100.5 WOWFM.
And I'm out.
Bye.